Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to our ongoing live coverage here from CMA Industry Week, day 6, of course. And we are continuing to put a spotlight on Canadian distributor Gemsen. And as I'd mentioned in a couple other sessions, Gemsen, as you can tell from their schedule, has put a pretty big emphasis on all things marine. And one of those exciting brands that we'll be discussing on this session is, of course, Clarion Marine. So to help me with that, we have the product manager for Clarion at Gemsen, and with a rich history in the not only the Clarion brand, but in the Canadian market for marine, Antonio De Rosa. Welcome, Antonio.
Hello, how are you?
Doing really well. This entire showcase has been going really smoothly. I see we're giving a chance to our friend Dave to have a break. Lucky him.
Yeah, he deserves it for sure. Yeah.
Why don't we start a little bit by telling the dealers a little bit about your story with Clarion and the marine segment?
Well, I mean, I actually worked for Clarion Canada while I was open. Had a career with them for over 20 years. And through my various roles, I did work with at the time, the OEM and marine manager there, Roland Stebner, under him, assisting in various things. So I've been, on the sidelines of things for a long time, got to know a lot of the marine customers and a good idea of what, they're all about. So here at Gemsen, it all fit. And now I'm trying to make a bigger push in marine in general. But right now we're talking about Clarion. So,
well, I know we have John Zimmerman from Clarion Marine, as well as Rob Haynes, the trainer from Clarion Marine. But obviously, if you've heard of Rob Haynes before, you're going to be like, isn't that the dude from JL Audio? So before we get them on, I'd like to hear the Gemsen perspective on this and how exciting that is. That is.
Yeah, well, in 2018, the Clarion changed its, made a corporate decision to change its, I guess, goals in North America to concentrate mainly on the OEM division, which they've been very strong in for many, many years. And the U.S. retail offices and the Canadian office, as a subsidiary of the U.S. office, was closed. On the mobile side, Clarion Mexico now handles North and South America. So Gemsen actually does Clarion Mobile for the brand here in Canada, but specifically here in the Marine, JL was approached as, they were big in the industry, very quality, very professional. They were approached with the opportunity to pick up the Clarion line and take it to new levels. And that all worked out. They agreed with the joint statement was issued, and a team was put together. There's actually a Clarion dedicated team at JL. John Zimmerman, which you're going to meet, is the product developer for that. And they actually took some of the Clarion staff from the U.S. company to help out with those designs, since they were experienced. But everything's been good, and from what I've seen so far, there's a lot of good stuff to come.
Lots of new stuff on the way. I know when we had John on for a Connected, he kind of hinted at that. I'm going to squeeze his dial a little bit more and see what else I can get out of him. But I just find it so cool how everything just kind of lined up. Gemsen, Clarion Marine, JL. It just all worked.
It worked out very well.
All right, let's go ahead and bring the people in charge of this brand here. First, we got John Zimmerman. Welcome back to CMA, John.
Hi, Ben. Good to see you.
Thanks Good to see me. You did hear. I warned you about the.
Yes, okay. I'm prepared to tell you nothing.
You're awesome. And I don't know if we want to delve into this anymore, but I'll give you a chance to maybe just expand on the story that we just heard from Antonio about the whole JL Clarion thing, because I think that's an important message that we have to convey to dealers.
It really is. Clarion's brand strength and reputation for quality. It's allowing JL Audio to enter markets that they previously were not able to enter, because JL's the premium brand in the marine audio industry. So it adds value to the retail partners. It adds value to the OEM customers that Clarion Marine is acquiring and had, and really just the rich history that they've had in marine. The dealers can sell really high quality products with a great brand name at a very attractive price point now.
Check. All the boxes done.
Yeah.
Let's get to our learn on. And when it comes to getting our learn on, we got to bring this man on. What's going on, Rob?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Ready to learn about Clarion Marine goodies for 2021.
All right, awesome. Well, I think we might have a thing or two up our sleeves for that.
Well, let's talk. Well, look at this. Oh, this guy's prepared. He has an agenda.
Oh yeah. How do you do this without having an agenda, right? But don't worry, this won't be death by PowerPoint. We'll make sure it's a little fun, just a little.
All right, let's dive in.
Yeah, so the agenda for today really, kind of discussed it already about the history of Clarion and the partnership with JL Audio. So we'll kind of quickly go through those since we just talked about that, but really just kind of quickly get into the current product lineup for Clarion Marine. Really, what are the go-to pieces, the best sellers on the source unit side? We'll talk about the amplifiers, and then the new lineup of speakers and subwoofers that came out late in 2020. So a lot of cool new stuff, and of course any questions that may come up at the end. So as we've talked, everyone knows the name Clarion. They've been around a long time, founded in 1940, in the car audio scene since 1948, which is pretty wild to think about. And really in the 80s was when they really became a brand name. As car audio really started to emerge and become this booming industry, they really put a lot of focus in it and really became one of those go-to brands, and then moved into the marine side of things in 1995 when they released their first marine source unit. And since then, they've always been a staple in the marine market. A very reputable brand known for reliable products, good sound, good aesthetics. And, it's always blown me away that just the massive following that Clarion's had in Canada. It's, down
that's
here.
Antonio's fault.
Yeah,
Well,
more power to him,
Yeah.
And for me, I love it because now that JL Audio has this involvement with Clarion, I love being, part of a brand and with a brand that has such a fanatical following. We have it with JL Audio, and I know Clarion does as well. So it's almost like that perfect mix of the two brands, which is, to me, is just really, really cool. And, as John talked about, the partnership really is key. It allows us to really get into markets on the OEM side. It allows our retail partners also to have, some lower price options that still maintain quality and that, JL Audio, look and feel. Even though Clarion is its own brand, JL Audio has high standards. So of course we're going to make sure those standards also filter down to the Clarion Marine product and really give consumers and dealers a really nice price point piece if JL Audio isn't an option. So, John kind of talked about the way that we're involved with that, but JL Audio, Clarion, we still maintained all of their engineers. So, they have their own engineering team, but we do, kind of work with them on the development of the new products, goals, sales and distribution, tech support and training, which is why I'm here today. So it really is a good partnership that really, I think, for everyone involved, not just JL Audio and Clarion, but for the consumers and the dealers, that they have another line of products that have a ridiculously high standard at a very good price point for a lot of people. So, it's a very good working relationship that I think we're all very excited about. And the product lineup right now is really nice. I know there's new stuff in the works. I know Ben's going to try to get John to spill the beans on some of that, so we'll see how good he is. So, but what we currently have is a very nice lineup. And the big thing really with Clarion is all of the products are Salt and Sun certified. And, that's a big deal because Salt and Sun certified, we were just talking before we came on here, it's a different from an amplifier to a speaker. There's different requirements. There's different aspects that need to be tested. We're talking about completely different materials. So to have Salt and Sun certified radios, amplifiers, speakers, that means a lot of work goes into making sure these can handle these tough marine environments. I know in Canada, vast majority of you are landlocked and with fresh water, but you still have the sun. And for you guys on the West Coast and East Coast, where you got the Pacific and the Atlantic out there, that salt certification is key, especially if the boats are being left out in the water for the full season. You can't have stuff corroding or getting damaged or abused from the sun's UV rays from sitting outside all the time. I know up there, not as bad as it is down in the Gulf Coast or South Florida, where it's pretty much hot, humid boat season all year long. But it is a testament to the Clarion Marine brand that Salt and Sun certified. It's something they've always worked on. It's not like a new addition with JL Audio, but the amount of work that goes in to make sure these can handle that abusive marine environment. And that starts with our line of source units. And we have a huge line of source units out there. But really what I want to talk about today are the 3 hot sellers, which are really going to be our core models, as I call them. And that's going to be our gauge, DIN style, and DIN oversized receivers. And, you know, I've noticed in the marine market, a lot of source units now, they're moving to those kind of little square, multi-zone type systems. But there is still a large market for DIN and gauge type receivers. A lot of these bow rider boats or smaller vessels, you don't have the dashboard or space to put a larger marine source unit like some of these ones now are. The only space may be a DIN opening in the glove box, or maybe in this case with the GR10BT, a gauge opening. I mean, this thing is awesome. It looks just like a gauge. It fits in a traditional gauge size opening. Works great, not just in boats, but golf carts, UTVs, anywhere where you need a source unit and controls and don't have a ton of space. This is a phenomenal unit. It has all the sources you would expect to need with your AM, FM. Weather band's really nice if you're on large bodies of water. Bluetooth, USB, auxiliary inputs, you name it, it has it. I was actually shocked when I saw, you have 4 pre-outs, you have dual zone control for amplifiers. Just a really cool piece, IPX rated on the front and rear. So it is designed to be exposed to the elements, rain, snow for you guys up there, spraying your boat down at the end of the day. It's up to the task and a really cool piece. And
sorry, we show that there. I missed it there.
John's got it up. Yeah. So for a source unit, very compact with a very nice feature set.
And at least what we see at Gemsen here is, I mean, we also get a lot where, people are just retrofitting older boats with, radios. And honestly, at the time, these new kind of square gauges, as he mentioned, didn't even exist. All they've got is the DIN hole. So without them getting into a lot of work of retrofitting, these are key to being able to support those kind of customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of options left. I mean, if you look at what's available in the market for source units and marine, there's not a lot of DIN and gauge radios that are left in the market. So like Antonio said, if you have a boat that's 10 years old and they take it to the dealer and they want to replace the radio because they don't have Bluetooth or they don't have Apple control or some of the features that some of the new source units do, it's a lot of work to replace a DIN radio with a new rectangle style or something different. So these really work well for the retrofit systems.
Absolutely. And of course we have the DIN offering with the M508. Again, if maybe your space is just in a glove box or somewhere small, again, designed to be outside, nice bright display, very elegant look. We've actually seen a lot of these used in classic cars because it just has that classic look. A lot of source units nowadays on the car side tend to be a little more flashy than what you would like to see in a classic car or a more low profile look. So this is great for those. Again, all of the sources you would need for our modern day technology with streaming and, iPods, iPhones, Android phones, and all of that. Just a nice, solid DIN-based receiver for a market that really still needs those for those older vessels and stuff like we were talking about. And then we have the M608. Again, it's a DIN size opening, but you have that larger, almost like a DIN and a half face. And what I love about these larger faceplates is if you do have the room for it, you've got larger buttons and controls. So it's a lot easier to control and make changes while you're, captaining your vessel. We always want to make sure we're safe when we're out there. So for me, anything that has large buttons, anything that's easy to see, has a larger display, is great for me. But what I really like about this M608 is it literally is a direct replacement for any of the older CD or CMD6, 7, 8, or CMV1 source units. The faceplate's the same size. All of the mounting holes are in the exact same location. It uses the same harnesses. Also for the wired remotes, this is literally a plug and play drop-in replacement to get your customers to the most modern source unit and technology in terms of streaming and USB and all of that. So for me to have a modern day radio that can literally plug and play, drop in and replace, 4 generations of existing models, for me is a really cool addition that makes it nice and easy to upgrade to the most modern source unit you can get out there for this type of DIN size receiver, which I think is really nice.
Real quick, Rob, dual zone control as well on that one?
Sorry?
Dual zone control on that one as well?
I think we had 8 pre-outs on this one. So you actually have up to 4 zones that you can control with the M608. So a little more flexibility.
The remotes are a big portion of that. I mean, if you look at all of the boats that were sold in the late 90s and 2000s that have the Clarion receiver and Clarion remotes, you know, if your source unit dies and you need to replace it, or if you want to upgrade it, replacing the radio with a similar size radio is not that difficult. But if you start talking about having to run new wiring to the transom of the boat or the bow of the boat to replace a remote, and then the remotes are different size holes and shapes, you know, this really is a neat solution. If there's a Clarion remote on the boat already, you're pretty well secure in knowing that this new source unit is going to be able to run one of the legacy remotes. There are a few exceptions there, but for the most part, it's going to drop right in and everything's going to work great for you.
Just to give you a time check, Rob, you got about 5 minutes left.
All right, sounds good. And of course, we've got a full line of amplifiers, 5-channel, 4-channel mono blocks, very small and compact, very efficient, perfect power ratings for the Clarion lineup of speakers. Again, all Salt Sun certified. I do understand if you need more power, there are Clarion amplifiers in the Canadian market that are on the car side that also you guys have used in vessels as well, that will give you a little more power if needed. So that's a cool little extra feature. But really what I want to get into in our last 5 minutes is the new lineup of speakers and subwoofers. And before I get into kind of each one, did you want to provide a little insight, John, into what the goals were for designing this new lineup for 2020 into 2021?
Yeah, so just real quickly, these new speakers and subwoofers, they represent a shift in the direction for the brand styling for Clarion Marine. And that styling will be, as Ben kind of alluded to, will be used throughout the rest of the lineup as we continue to develop more and more products, whether it be amplifiers, source units, accessories, and so on and so forth. The speakers really were kind of the focus for what the direction of the Clarion brand and styling is going to go to. Again, we did new styling, new kind of design, and we rethought the entire process for a speaker when we designed the Clarion Marine speakers this year, just to really make sure that it made sense in the market today.
And a lot of nice design aspects, using a bridge mounted tweeter to get a full cone area to get more output and reduce the potential of moisture getting into the voice coil or the motor. A big feature on the Clarion speakers and subwoofers is they all share the same hole patterns as the JL Audio M3 and M6 lineups. So if you have a vessel that has the new Clarions, maybe a customer has a boat with a factory installed Clarion system and they want to upgrade, a dealer could easily upgrade to JL Audio M3 or M6 speakers without having to drill holes. So really cool that we can actually interchange the speakers with one another, having the same hole patterns on not just the 6.5 and 7.7 inch coaxials, but on the 10-inch subwoofers as well, which is a really big deal and kind of a nice feature for the dealers that are dabbling in both brands. And again,
and the harness, and one other thing, Rob, is the harness. That's a big portion of it too. I mean, in addition to not having to cut a bigger hole or modify the gel coat on the boat, the harnesses are all the same connection points as the JL Audio M3 and M6 speakers. So on the lighted models, you're going to have an Amphenol Deutsch style connector, and then on the non-lighted models, you've got your standard positive and negative speaker spades, but they match exactly what the JL Audio is doing.
Oh, that's really cool. 3 speakers in our premium coaxial lineup. You have 6.5 inch options with and without RGB lighting, and a nice 7.7 inch with the RGBs. I always love those larger ones because you get a little more output out of them. Depending on the model, 50 to 60 watts of handling, nice 1-inch silk dome tweeters. So they're nice and smooth, nothing fatiguing on the ears after extended listening. And we're in the box, you get both the white or metallic gray sport grills. So from a retail perspective, it's nice. You only need to stock one SKU, and you can just pick whatever grill you want that's in the packaging for the installation to make it match. We also have some standard coaxial models as well. These are all going to be 6.5 inch options. In the standard options, you do have classic grills, which are going to be your more traditional slat bar. And then you've got sport grills with or without RGB lighting. Again, they come with the grills in the box. You can either do white or black with the classic and sport models. We do move to a 1/2-inch polymer tweeter on these and do reduce the power handling just a smidge to help us get to that lower price point for those customers that might not be able to afford the premium models, but still want that quality Clarion sound. And of course, we have to have a lineup of subwoofers as well. They're single 4-ohm or dual ohm models. They are designed for infinite baffle application. So there we go. John's got that. And that means we're not going to use a traditional enclosure. You're going to cut a hole in the fiberglass and use all of the airspace behind the fiberglass as your enclosure. They do not come with grills, so do make sure you sell or buy the color grill you want for the subwoofer. And they do have that bridge, so they kind of maintain the same aesthetics as the coaxial models. And again, share that bolt pattern with the 10-inch JL Audio Marine subwoofers, which is, again, a very nice feature. And all of them are Salt and Sun certified, so they're ready to be out in the elements. So, and with that, if there's any questions, we can answer those. And, whoo, that was a lot for...
Man, you're professional grade, Rob. Exactly, perfect on time. John, super. That's great job on the Vanna White action. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I have two questions, and that is, what's new? What's coming down the pipe? Is there anything else that we should be expecting and being excited about? Because already the whole new redesign is super, super nice.
There's a lot new. As we alluded to, we're currently in development on some new source units and some new remote products that will be coming out later this summer. So we're really excited about that. All new styling, new features, latest technology, really neat stuff there. And then for next year, we've got a couple lines of amplifiers that we're working on currently that are going to be pretty neat feature-wise. There's some really cool stuff that we're doing in the amplifiers that I'm really excited about. And then in addition to that, there's a whole other slew. So as during the Connected I alluded to when we spoke last time, Ben, we're really trying to bring Clarion's core group of products back to market in a new brand and in a new kind of cosmetic and feature set. And then as we get past the core group of products, we will expand into some of the other niche accessories, some of the other things that are needed in the market as well.
All right. Well, I'm sure we're going to book a connect and you'll come back and be able to share a little bit more detail about that.
I'm really excited.
I'll accept that answer. I won't drive you any harder. That's a pretty good,
some
answer.
Great vague details.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Very great detailed vagueness. So, Rob, thank you so much for spending the time with us. Of course, we'll see you back here when we're talking about JL Audio Marine as well as JL Audio Car Audio. So thank you so much. And John, looking forward to your updates a little bit later, and have a great Marine season.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
And I guess before we go, I'd like to mention, basically, we've got the phrase for the Clarion portion is Salt and Sea certified.
Salt, that's a long word.
I know. Salt and Sea certified. Yes.
Certified.
They mentioned it a few times, and
they certainly did.
And let's not forget that we've got that special on. So any orders before the April 3rd will be at 5% off online, and use the promo code CMAIW5.
So there it is. I put it up on the screen. Save 5% off any size order. It's a one-time use. CMAIW5 is the code during checkout. And make sure you put in the what was the code word again? Salt and Sun certified.
Salt and Sun certified.
Can I say something now that I got the Americans off the screen?
Sure, go ahead.
What do they think we have no, do they realize that we run our boat up until the ice comes over? Is it, I want to see Sun and Salt and Ice certified. That's what I want to see.
And I think
what do they think we are? Come on. We boat for a month?
Man. Good point. Good point.
I know. I see them backstage and they're just dying. Anyways, okay. Thanks a lot, Antonio. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Bye.
There you have it. That draws a conclusion to our session here about Clarion Marine Audio, a really interesting brand that obviously has been around but has new life brought into it with their new association with JL Audio, distributing Canada by Gemsen. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Lots more Gemsen on the way. Live coverage coming to you for CMA Industry Week on this day 6. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.